Hello and welcome to the Star Citizen Persistent Universe monthly report, looking at what Cloud Imperium's various development teams have been working on over the last few weeks and what they're focused on now in March 2023. From ships to locations, features, Alpha 3.19, 4.0 and beyond, let's jump in. The UK vehicle art team approached the end of their work on the Argo SRV, that tow ship, being able to use its giant sort of ship-scale tractor beams to help ships out of atmosphere, pull damaged ships back to port, aid in salvage and mining and all that sort of jazz as well. The final art phase is in progress, including level of detail and damage passes, and is expected to conclude with the final gate review and a go, no-go this month. Work also continued on an unannounced ship, which is well into the final art phase. A new variant moved into the LOD 0 phase, level of detail again, after passing its grey box review. Detailing work on the exterior and interior is ongoing. The Crusader Spirit continued its grey box pass. I'm really hoping that we see the Crusader Spirit by the end of Q2 2023. While there are still a few visual design tweaks to be made, the Spirit is looking in great shape for its review. The Miss Cull Sea received a significant amount of low-level tech updates. They've also been trying to fix any visual issues that occurred during the ongoing technical setup, while the Misk Freelancer is ongoing some interior tweaks to accommodate physicalized components. It's great to know that Cloud Imperium are updating ships for physical components still, because they need to get them all up to the gold standard and then sort of push the resource management system and then get physical components actually in all of the ships, and then all of this sort of comes together as a core component for Star Citizen. Grey box on an upcoming vehicle progressed. Testing was done simultaneously on the modelling process to see if the team can reduce the level of detail impact on production once they arrive at the final content phase. The Ayapoa Santok Yai is currently in the grey box stage and undergoing significant testing to see how far the team can take secondary motion. The vehicle art team said, "The goal for us is to make the ship feel as though it is reacting heavily to its inertia. Doing this requires that we apply blend space animations similar to what we do with characters." The vehicle feature team has mostly been focused on the transit system, which has been heavily refactored as a result of persistent entity streaming being released. They said, "As we've been pushing through the various PT waves to release to Alpha 3.18, more and more issues have arisen. Most transit bugs do not present locally on machines, so we've been developing a system that can remotely log the transit system and observe what happens after a bug occurs. This has been extremely helpful in finding various bugs in the PTU." For releases further ahead, new features were added to the flight system and some older systems were refactored in support of one of the ship team's unannounced vehicles. The gameplay features team continued the work on tractor beams, enabling ship owners to protect their ship items by locking them using lock exterior functionality. They also added an interaction to the Greycat multi-tool that will detach unlocked items from ships to allow more control over item detaching. The team then expanded on the hollow outline that weapon features provided to get them clear feedback on the attaching rules for ship items. They continued their work on the resource network, which is known as engineering gameplay. Gameplay features will provide a more in-depth look into this feature in an upcoming episode of Inside Star Citizen. In the US, the Persistent Universe team worked on physicalized cargo refactor stuff, so this significant conversion has several goals. Convert the existing cargo render proxy to actual physics entities for each cargo container. This enables them to manually be added and removed from the cargo grid using the tractor beam. They want to convert all commodities, minerals, and harvestables to a new resource type. This requires refactors of the mining and refining systems to ensure they work with the new resources. Recreate the commodity kiosk using building blocks to give greater flexibility with future changes. Ensure that all missions that use any form of cargo, usually in the form of carryable two-handed entities, still work with the new cargo resource system, and work with the ship teams to mark up all cargo grids to use the new system. The Persistent Universe team worked closely with the EU-PU gameplay team to ensure the conversion worked not only with the mining and refining systems, but also to ensure that new salvage systems worked with the new resource system as well. They said, once we had confirmed that cargo was properly working with the cargo grids, Chris Roberts pointed out the fact that since ships were always destroyed upon death, the majority of their cargo was destroyed, thus thus reducing the amount that players could interact with the new system. So he worked with the Arena Commander feature team to implement soft death on ships. This ensures that the majority of the time a ship is destroyed, it enters a disabled state that preserves all the cargo within the ship so that it can be retrieved by interested parties. The mission features team made a few improvements to the Klesha Rehabilitation Facility or prison, including changing the stashes to lootable containers. This allows them to put in whatever items they want, such as a rarer contraband alongside the typical sustenance and oxy pens. A full stash should now contain an amount of contraband that can either be returned, giving players another non-violent means to reduce their sentence. Players can now also steal minerals from other NPC inmates, and should they go deep into the mines, get away without being caught. Given these new options for generating merits, plus the new escape mission and Platinum Bay at nearby outposts, the team decided to increase the cap on prison sentences to further punish those committing numerous felonies, though lighter sentences will remain the same. Mass murder has now serious consequences, leaving escape a much more tempting prospect. Several unannounced missions continued to be prototyped, one of which sees players escorting ships as they quantum travel and land at various locations, potentially allowing players aboard to carry out tasks. Also, after inheriting ownership of the reputation system, the team began designing out the system as a whole alongside prioritizing which work comes first. UI art and design have been working on several new features, including an interactive 3D UI prototype, a universal marker for the star map, and concept work for some of the updated vehicle UI styles. The UI tech team progressed in various areas, including creating a color picker UI for use in interactive screens. They continue to help polish the new star map, adding space dust to make it easier to perceive movement, improving the controls, and creating cubic hollow volumes. The VFX programming team's time was split between fire, quantum travel, and tool work. For fire, the work began on decal shading to achieve glow, burn, and soot on objects within the scene. Quantum travel now has support for quantum casting and redshift, along with various other code improvements. For tools, usability improvements continued and support was added for referencing particle effects. The Arena Commander team have been laying foundations for the Arena Commander overhaul that they've got planned, working on spawning and racing system refactors and delivering the refactored rounds module along with the long-awaited bug fixes and quality of life changes. The design team focused on the conversion of a new Stanton location into Arena Commander. I believe this is the Jericho station there, which will feature all standard game modes bar classic race. This location, which we'll talk about more as we get closer to race, has the team tackling some unique challenges with taking persistent universe locations that'll ease the process for future endeavors. The team also began work on an all-new atmospheric dogfighting arena, which will be the first fully atmospheric map in Arena Commander. I'm actually quite looking forward to that. That sounds pretty cool. The characters and weapons features team continued to support the upcoming patch release with critical bug fixes, mainly for crashes and player position desync. The team also began looking at lockers and how to best create outfits as a predefined collection of items that can be equipped or worn in a single action. They're also currently looking at a combination of item port and player inventory systems to store and display large to small items. For example, a coat may appear on a hanger just like in the shops, whereas a small accessory item or weapon attachment could go into an inventory drawer. Another inventory aspect in progress is allowing players to perform a reload directly from a backpack or pocket. For example, if ammunition isn't directly available from their suit, players can perform a slower reload where it's retrieved from their inventory. However, this only works if spare ammunition has been stored prior to engaging in combat. The locations team completed the exteriors of Seraphim Station and the 3 Stanton jump points. Work is approaching final art on the asteroid clusters for the Resource Rush mission, and the team is working on the last few modules to close out Content Pack 3, which will enable them to construct and distribute Pyro's small to medium outposts. Tasks progressed on Ruin Station and underground facilities, the latter of which are currently in white box stages. We'll see more of that stuff in the coming inside Star Citizen. For organics, they prepared and hardened some of their cave initiatives and began looking into additional biome work. The design team worked on a new mission for Pyro's outposts. They also began investigation towards achieving gold standard outposts, which produced several feature requests to facilitate new and interesting gameplay loops in Pyro relating to the resource network and reputation systems. The Planet Tech team worked on better support for asteroid fields, improvements to the harvestable system, and adding support for instancing to terrain chunks. Also, the Planet and Graphics team worked together on a new water system. This is still in its early stages, but allows for the GPU wave and ripple simulations at multiple scales, as well as network synced impacts for larger events like spaceships crashing into the water. Shading improvements were also being made to achieve better reflections, refraction, and foam. Lighting finished their work on the Lorville skyline rework, so we know we're getting Lorville 2.0 expansion of Lorville for Alpha 3.19, at least that's the plan. They moved fully onto Colonial Outposts after that. This is a significant undertaking with many pieces that we need to get right, said the lighting team. The in-game branding team's work on Lorville Skyline is also coming to an end. They began working on their tasks for Pyro's Ruin Station, with their first step being to create the visual identities of gangs and their environments. The Interactables team continued work on Pyro, creating more assets for Ruin Station as well. Narrative, with tasks for upcoming releases winding down, attention turned to the next patch and beyond. Several items, clothing pieces, and vehicles were branded and named. Work continued on the upcoming salvage mining and investigation missions, while improvements were considered for Bounty Hunting version 2 and the Contract Manager. The team is also refining and honing their work towards the gameplay in the Pyro system. They said, seeing how the system's lawless nature has the potential to enhance existing gameplay loops, this has been very exciting for us. They also continued with the environment and design teams on building interiors. Additionally, progress was made on narrative lootables, things like journals, articles, and messages that players might find and be able to discover as they explore the verse. Finally, the team's narrative designers continued to work on expanding and improving player interactions with certain NPCs. Moving on to engine, graphics, and back-end stuff, the physics team made several improvements to box pruning. There were optimizations to collision checks, shaders, and physical entities. Further improvements were made to the Gen 12 renderer and CPU usage. The graphics team continued to close out the final tasks for the Gen 12 before they transitioned to assisting in the completion of the Vulkan graphics API. The damaged map system was converted to Gen 12 renderer stuff. Ultra-wide screens saw more support. Work on streaming system improvements started. The graphics team submitted the first iteration of a new render layer feature to allow easy customization of objects in the world for use with game features such as scanning and the minimap. Online Services completed the development of Shard Isolation and the Shard Broker, with PTU testing beginning for both. These new features are used for isolating push workers and shard health lifecycle respectively, with the goal being to maintain shard integrity. The team also added inventory queue caching to the Entity Graph service, meaning faster response times and less load on the database. The team performed a refactor for insurance, ASOP terminals, and the Vehicle Manager app backend and game code, with the goal of improving performance and fixing some of the long-standing bugs there. Boom! That's it for your monthly report for the Persistent Universe this time. We will have a Squadron 42 and AI report for you this weekend as well, so look forward to that. I am really interested to know what you think, though. Are you excited for those new unannounced ships? What do you think they are? When do you think we're going to see them? Is it going to be for Fleet Week? What do you hope to see from Cloud Imperium this year? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Time for some shilling. The Tobii Eye Tracker 5 is on sale again until the 6th of March. This gives you native high-precision head and eye tracking in Star Citizen. Very cool for general immersion, for combat both in ship or on foot. They are absolutely fantastic pieces of kit, and both Zin and I have one. Use the links below to grab one for 15% off or to find out more. It's 2023. There's no need for a VPN like NordVPN, right? In the modern era. Wrong. What's this? A Silent Hill styled ad? No, due to copyright, it's actually a Quiet Mound ad. But that siren means that someone's got my browsing data and hacked all my sanity away at Starbucks. Oh no, that guy's got a triangle on his head. Ah! I've never had a Silent Hill incident while using nordvpn.com/BoredGamer. By God, can you risk not having it? Well, probably, but why take the chance? NordVPN can help you access more content on the internet from more countries in a safer and more private way. It's an essential tool in your arsenal in 2023 against the legally distinct triangle head. Check out the links below for one hell of a deal. Every month we have a ship giveaway. For March, we are giving away an Argo Raft, the mighty little hauler that could. Soon, it should be able to make use of its 32 SCU cargo boxes, but in Alpha 3.18, it's going to be able to make you some serious Alpha UEC from cargo hauling. It also comes with a game package and lifetime insurance, all you need to get started in your Star Citizen career. Thank you so much for watching this video and supporting the channel. Please consider becoming a YouTube member with the join button under our videos or using the links below Patreon. It really goes the extra mile to support us making daily content for Star Citizen. If you liked the video, be sure to like and subscribe and share it with your space friends. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the verse.